What I noticed about this artwork was the bright atmosphere depicted. Although that was easy to notice, I thought there was more to it. The challenge was where to start. Then, this line of thinking led me to look at what was off about this artwork. Then it hit me. There was something off about the perspective, or the camera angle, or the point of view, and where it leads the eye. The windows here, the subject of this work, the piece of papers and the paper planes floating around, and the classroom where all of this is set. What's outside those windows? These turbines, the clouds, the environmental colors used throughout this work. Then I summarized what I had. First is the perspective or the point of view or the camera angle. Second is the subject or the character. Third is the setting, the classroom. Fourth is the window and what's outside those windows. Then, I'll first start with the perspective and the questions I have about it. What's the purpose of using this kind of perspective? I think the perspective used first leads your attention to the entire scene, then to the subject, then to the window, and then to the outside. Second, it creates this imbalance, which affects the way I look at this work, therefore affecting the emotions I get towards this work, which I'll talk about later. Then, if my attention was led to the subject by the previously mentioned perspective, what is the reason for that? There are two answers I have to this question. The first, to show the importance of the subject, therefore highlighting that everything in this artwork is in favor of the subject, which gives insight into the subject's emotional presence or the artist's emotional presence or emotional state. Second is that the subject has nothing to do with perspective but exists for the sake of further directing your attention in the direction he is facing. I thought hard about the reason this is set in a classroom, but none of the things I thought of were convincing with an exception of a few ideas. The first is that it has a personal connection to the subject which was given through the objects in it, which the first object is these desks or these tables. If this is a classroom, where are the students? Because there is only one here, which might suggest loneliness for the subject. And since this is a classroom, it might suggest that whatever happened is a past memory. Second is that these paper planes or these papers floating around might be there to show a sense of presence, like the flow of time, which might suggest that the subject is just passing the time relaxing. It's easy to notice the windows, but something is off about them. They are broken. This was difficult for me to pin down why that's so, but I have a few possible theories. First, it's a seeming normal classroom. The subject is just sitting and passing the time with broken windows. It doesn't sit well with me, unless there is a reason behind it. Maybe it was supposed to be looked at as a form of ventilation. The thickness of the clouds depicted and the seeming turbine just scream wind, which give this work more of this natural feeling, which would make sense if you consider the subject relaxing and letting the time flow, because the clouds, the turbines, the paper planes, and these blue environmental colors just hint to it, or at least it appears that way. Second is that maybe the broken windows might suggest that something bad happened in the subject's past in this same classroom, and the subject is here to grieve that past memory, which would make sense if you consider that the subject is alone here with no one around, and these blue colors illuminating might give off these sad, lonely tones. But I have some difficulty believing this. I don't know, maybe intuition. So we come back to this part of the section we call truth. I previously mentioned before that it was challenging for me to start this video because there is a lot I don't know. I got this image on the internet, obviously, and I don't know who painted this. But regardless of that, hope you enjoyed this video. We'll meet another one.